Hey, it's your girl, Miss Mo, the sexy voice, y'all know. Sitting in on the Quad Angle Podcast, baby. So we got some juice to talk about today. But before we get started, let me introduce my buddies that's on the thing with me, y'all. Say hey, Isha.
Hey, it's Lady Isha. I'm co-hosting today. What's good, everybody?
Ima Ali.
Hey, 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 what's going on, ladies and gents? It's exciting to be here tonight.
He and the Cleavage sister say hello. Hey, Victor.
What's up? What's up, everybody? You already know what time it is because I'm rocking with you. Good to be here.
Awesome. I'm so glad you guys came in to join us. I hope everybody had a grateful, beautiful, great week. So we're going to take off into this thing because we got some stuff to talk about. Listen, how would you guys feel if you decided to dive into your career, correct? And we know how it is. Sometimes careers can be very demanding, right? Right. So how would you
Yep.
feel if you decided to dive right into your careers and your child had an issue with you trying to balance your career and your life outside of that, your love life, if you would say, your love life, and they felt that they were being neglected? How do you think you would rectify that situation with your baby?
I guess he don't want to eat.
Right. Right. I like that already. She like, you gotta eat. Such fun.
You know
I'm
what
gonna
I
have to
think?
pay bills.
You know what I think? I think obviously because you have to think about that's my child. So my child's feelings is obviously valid. We would have to have a conversation as to why my child feels like that. Then when we actually then explore that, we can come to some form of common ground to see if I can balance my career and my child because my relationship with my child is very important. But at the same time, I have to make sure that I'm creating a platform where I'm able to put a roof over our head while in my career.
Agreed, agreed. And I'm speaking from experience. Agreed.
Yeah.
I've gone through that beyond and more with my oldest. And she felt that she had to grow up fast. She felt that I just wasn't there sometimes. And sometimes I did have to make those tough decisions because within this career, it's something that I want true indeed, but I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it for them to have a better life. So when I uprooted and decided to leave from Alabama to Georgia, it was like, you're taking me from my friends. You're taking me from my family. But sometimes those harsh decisions have to be made in order to have a better life. And as a child, they don't understand that.
Right. And I think that communication is the biggest key. You know what I'm saying? Today,
Agreed.
kids are coming out as adults. They're
They
not
are girl.
kids. They're coming out as adults. They're coming out knowing how to use the iPad. They're coming out knowing how to use the phone. They're coming out knowing already. So you have to communicate with them at a different level. Communicate with them and let them know what mommy, daddy, whomever, has going on.
Girl, cinema text.
Let them know. What you say?
Cinema text. Just cinema text.
Yes, honey. Yes.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I don't think it's any different from the way regular moms had to work 2 and 3 jobs to take care of their kids. It's no different. For me, I just felt that some of them kids is real spoiled. Like, you're a spoiled brat. At the end of the day, you gotta understand mommy's doing all of this and make sure you got food on the table, clothes on your back, and to make sure that you have a stable living condition, or you could be out in the street. Which one? What you want? All right.
Yeah,
What you
but see,
want?
as an adult already have walking in those steps, we get it. But as children, sometimes trying to make a child understand an adult world, they just don't get it. That's like if mom and dad don't get along and now we're getting divorced and they want mom and dad to stay together when we really hate each other. Children just don't understand that
This
sometimes.
how you
So
do it.
sometimes it's like you just gotta push it aside and focus on
True.
that the goal at hand.
Look,
I
you want McDonald's or you want to live in the street? McDonald's street, McDonald's street. What you want?
but
But
I
a lot
think I
of talk. They're not talking. They putting the kid with whomever, leaving them with an
Mhm.
iPad, leaving them with a computer, and they not letting the child know what's going on. So the child just feels neglected. So I get it on both ends. I don't
I
have
like that.
kids,
That's
but
true.
I agree.
being
I
a
agree too.
daughter,
I
I
agree
get
too. I agree too, but it all boils back down to communication. If you're having
communication.
that open, honest dialogue with your
Yeah.
child, then your child can understand you because you have that relationship. Because
Yeah.
if you think about it with us being adults, our parents had to make certain sacrifices for us to be where we are right now. And sometimes they may not have had that conversation with us, but sometimes it's just good when you have that communication and be like, listen, baby, I understand that you may feel this way and I will make it up to you, but
Yeah.
Mommy has to work. Daddy has to work in order for us to have a roof over our head, right?
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. Again, I'm speaking from experience because I had those conversations several times. Beyond, I had those conversations. I also even did the group session therapy, the one-on-one therapy, the big brother, big sister programs. I did all of that, and she just did not get it. And I think it goes back to my daughter was the first grandchild, the first niece, the first girl, the first great niece, the first. She had all of that, so she had everybody's attention. So when mommy's career became demanding with work to, keep her plentiful with the things that she liked, she didn't understand that.
But you know what, though? I hear that and I appreciate that. But sometimes, even though they may not understand what it is that you're saying, the very fact that you came to them and created that safe space for a safe conversation, they're going to respect it and they may not understand it right there and then, but later on in their life, they're going to get it. But I think it just
She
always
did.
boils back down to communication.
Yeah.
Definitely.
She
And
did.
you got to understand too, Mahogany, your child is in the middle of, the growth spurt of the kids today and the kids, coming out of that baby booming. They are a little bit more confused. You know what I mean? Like these kids they come out the womb, they jump the hurdle. The kids coming from us, they come out the womb and they trying to jump the hurdle. They trying to jump the hurdle. They try, you know what I mean? So it's a different type of understanding too on the age demographics of your child on how they are understanding. So some kids, you can tell them they get it. Some kids, you have to show them.
That's what I was going to say. The
Agree. And that's why I
generation
had to
is.
kind of just remove myself and allow her to go through those growing pains because I've given you all the tools to life and how you choose to apply them, that's your choice. I can't expect you to use them as I would. So I just kind of, step back and let her go through the motions of life. And mommy's right here when you're ready for me. But my problem with a lot of parents is when they begin to take things to social media to air them out.
Yes. Speak on
That's
it.
when my problem really comes in.
I
Speak
think
on
that's
it.
a
That's
celebrity
when and it's crazy
thing.
because us community are one of the first ones to run to social media because we feel like we're the victim and we need somebody to be on our side. So we got to give it to everybody until we find somebody that gives us the attention and agrees with what we're saying.
But this
That's
is
what
why.
I say. That's what was wrong with social media today. I'm sorry, but it's like back in the day, if you had a problem, you discussed that within the family.
You got your butt busted, okay?
Or you got exactly, or you got a whoop. All right.
Or it was the village.
My mama had a belt on in her room that she wrote. She
Speak on it,
wrote
Nima.
permanent marker motivation. Play with me if you want to. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So
because the neighbors had permission too. In the area I come from, the neighbors is watching. The neighbors is your babysitter. You might be at home, but the neighbors next door know what's going on. The neighbors across the street, they know what's going on. So the village was also a part of it as well. So
and not to mention also the police were a part of that village. If you were busting your child chops, they'd be like, okay, you need my belt.
Yes.
But not only that, you know what? It's so true, and I love what you guys are saying. That it definitely takes a village to raise a child. But I really feel like I always say that it's so important as parents that we are doing the work on ourselves because I'm realizing that we're now broken people giving birth to broken children, and our children are actually watching us. They're watching us, and based on what we do, they're going to copy that. So if you're saying that you have an issue with your child or you're having some form of issue within the relationship, and you're taking that to social media, what are you then actually what example are you setting for your child and how to deal with situations?
Agree.
I also always say, like, when they say it takes a village to raise a child, it also takes a village to help an adult. Because at the end of the day, you cannot sit here and do everything on your own. Even though you might have what would they say? You have a very people that help you out, your mother, your or an aunt or a cousin or somebody else that will help you take care of the kid while you go run and do X, Y, and Z. Today's generation, they don't know how to do that. I don't know what's going on with the generation today's parenting, but it's crazy how kids will know the words to Sexy Red Song before they know their ABCs. That is
Come on.
what I'm talking about. Is like the parenting is ridiculous.
That's the iPad, the computer, and the TV raising the kids. That's the problem.
Because
and loving hip hop.
The kids shouldn't even have access. The kids, they should not even have access to that type of music. My kids will tell you, you close and lock doors in my house, I'm taking the doorknobs off or the doors off the hinges. If I got to keep telling you to turn your light off, I'm taking the light bulbs out your rooms and giving you flashlights. I'm going through your phones. I'm deleting music if you don't need to listen to it. I did all of that.
What happened to the parental blocks on the websites and stuff? Didn't they used to have parental blocks on stuff?
I did that too.
Right. But you gotta also understand what may be happening in your home. They still step outside in those peers. Because I can remember being a young girl whose mother didn't let me listen to certain music, but when I went to my aunt's house, I could do what I want. My mother didn't let me watch didn't watch me watch what was Prince movie Purple Rain, but when I went to my aunt's house, I watched Purple Rain. You feel what I'm saying? So we got
so my other thing here is, how do you navigate through your personal relationship? Because mommy or daddy should have a personal life too. How do you navigate through trying to make time for your children as well as your relationship and then have a career? You got to be able to balance them.
You got to have balance.
I mean, I don't have children, so I ain't got those problems. You know,
mine are all grown. Mine are grown. I did my part.
I don't have children either, but I think to answer this question, I think everything is balanced, right? So I feel like you want to make time for your partner and you want to make time for your child. But even though when you think about it, everybody's connected as a family. So why not do things together? And I think, again, it then all boils back down to communication, because then in your household, you want to be able to, because you want to raise your child rather than the streets raising your child. So if you can create a space, where your kid can come to you and you can actually hear what your kid is saying and be their parent rather than being a pastor or being somebody that's Bible bashing them or constantly throwing things down their throat, then you create a safe space for your child to come to you about anything, and then that relationship is built. That's what I think, based on my.
So a lot of what I did when my kids were younger. Again, I'm speaking from experience. My kids are grown now. My youngest will be 25 in 2 months. But what I did when they were younger is my partner, whomever that may be at the time, had to understand, I am a mother. You are not their father. So when my kids go to bed, that is the time that you have with me. If you don't agree with that, then so be it. This is not going to work. I thank you for your time.
And that's the boundary that you're setting.
Exactly. So once we're like 6 months in, and I feel like this could be building into something, and now we're not just courting or dating, we're speaking on a relationship, then that's when I decide that, okay, cool. Now you can meet my kids and we can start doing family things.
So let me ask you, what time frame do you think is important for you then for your partner to meet your children or child?
6
months. You gotta vet them. You gotta vet them.
Yeah, because I need to get a feel. I need to get a feel.
Exactly.
And you're gonna be mommy. You're never gonna know. You're never gonna be introduced to my kids as my boyfriend or my man. You will be my friend.
We gotta have a foundation.
So I had a nickname. Mr. Friendly was everybody. You're my friend.
Yeah. And you gotta make sure you ain't inviting no petties around your kids too.
Exactly.
Exactly. So I gotta kind of feel you out a little bit. And trust me, I'm doing some background checks and everything. So I need to know.
So
yes.
And after so long, I did introduce, if I thought it was going to be something serious with me and Mr. Friendly, if it was going to be something serious, then I also introduced them to their father.
Right. Yeah, and you also got to know, like you said, you got to know what man you bringing around or whoever your partner is. I don't know if you're gay, straight, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to understand, some people could just be for fun and you just for fun. You can't be coming around my kids because you ain't that man or whatever.
But he also got to show you too. He got to show you. He got to show you who he is and how he's showing up for you. Let you know how he needs to show up if he can show up for your child.
Absolutely.
If he's not showing up for you and you settling, then he's not ready to meet your child.
And I kind of want to see if this is going to be, I'm sorry, Tim, to cut you off.
Okay.
I kind of want to see if this is going to be something serious. I want to see how you engage with my children when I'm paying attention and when I'm not paying attention.
Exactly.
100%. But I feel like that oftentimes you kind of know if that's the right person or not, because we have to use this thing called discernment. Sometimes we be knowing, but because of how that person makes us feel, we then get lost in that. And then we find ourselves in a predicament that we could have avoided had it been if we trusted our discernment and trusted who the person said they were.
Tim, that's where I say pay attention to the red flags off the break. If you
And
know that
do.
you don't like a certain type of thing and he bringing it to the table off break, don't
You were making a very good valid point. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
I'm going to say make sure when your kids are of age where they can speak. When they can speak, they'll be able to tell, well, this man did this or this cousin did this or whatever. Always make sure that you bring people around your kids when they are able and old enough to speak clearly so they can tell you what's going on.
Yeah,
that's why Mr.
Because
Friendly
if my
couldn't come over
child,
until it was bedtime.
hello,
Exactly.
because if my child comes and tells me that something happened, I'm going to believe my child.
Oh, I'm going and fighting. I'm smiling in my mugshot.
And I'm not speaking from experience when I say this, but I know some people who have gone through it. Investigate too, because kids will lie if they feel like you're taking away attention from them. You're taking my mom or my dad away from me. I gotta get rid. So investigate it too.
Yeah,
it's very important that you investigate, because also kids can lie, but also the partner that you're seeing can also lie, and then you choose the partners. You choose the partner over the kid, and then this whole time the kid was telling the truth. So it's so important that you investigate and also use your discernment.
Yes. Oh, guys, that was good. So let's talk about our email question of today. You know, the audience always emailing us, letting us know what they want to talk to us about and what they want our advice on. So the email question of today is, it's pretty, it goes along with what we were talking about earlier, but it's my boyfriend does not like my daughter. He says that she's too grown and I let her get away with everything, and therefore he does not want to interact or do family style things with her. Should I leave him or should I stay with him? I'm gonna let Aisha start with that one, because I gotta ponder. As a daughter who's been told she was grown all the time, let me get my thoughts together, because that's a lot.
Is that even a question? Like, is that really a question? Like,
Baby.
First of all, yes, you leave. You leave. Bye-bye. Peace out. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Be out. Because at the end of the day, regardless if you're grown or not, that's your daughter. That is your flesh and blood. You will never get, I mean, you can always get another daughter, but that's your only one. That's the one that's who that is. You cannot replace it.
So let me throw a ripple in the water. My thing is, let's just say the daughter is too grown. She wearing booty shorts, makeup, nails. Do you kind of take a little bit of advice from your partner and kind of start to curb some things or tame some things? Agreed. Okay. But what I'm saying is, do you take the advice from your partner to say, okay, honey, you need to tone this down?
No, you need to go talk to her daddy.
So my question is, how long were you in a relationship with this person with, and how old is the daughter?
Well, this is the thing. It says that he does not want to interact or do family style things. So that means they've already been
open to seeing if they
can. So in that case, I hear what Mahogany is saying, but I would say in that case, that's my family, and you're not here to replace my family. You're here to enhance. So if you have a problem with my own daughter,
exactly.
Come on to my life.
Exactly. Juicy.
I agree with you there, Tim. I just had to kind of. I agree with you there. I just had to kind of be devil's advocate and throw a little ripple in there. Like, what if the child
in that case, though? In that case, you have a conversation with I would have a conversation with my daughter and say, listen, you're not at that age. You just need to tone it down a little bit. I will hear what my partner is saying, because then again, if I'm with that person for a while, obviously that person has my best interest at heart, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So if he said to me, yo, you know what, Tim, your daughter is just, we've been butting heads, and she's been acting a little grown, and if I agree with that, then I can have a conversation with my daughter. But you're not going to come into my life and disrespect me and my daughter and tell me that we are not going to interact and we're not going to do anything together. You can't go on.
So what happens if you're really in love with this person and you're kind of torn and you don't know how to, really bring light to that situation?
Are you really in love with that person, or are you craving love for yourself because you don't have love for yourself, though? Because if he's mistreating your daughter, how can he effectively be actually giving you the love that you need?
Because in our community, it does happen in every ethnicity. It does happen
Oh
with every
wait,
ethnicity, but
Mahogany,
in
let
our
me ask you
community, it
something.
happens a lot where the parent, male or female, chooses their partner over their child.
Is it really love though, or are they digmatized? There's a difference.
That's the
I
key.
agree.
That's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying.
I
How
agree.
can
I'm
he
just throwing,
effectively, if
you know,
he,
I'm
if
not
he,
saying, I'm
See,
not saying I was
because
like that. I just
it's
had
a
to throw
difference.
some obstacles out there. I'm not saying it for me because I chose my children every single time. But
There
yeah,
we go.
yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
But
some people be acting
statistics,
like the penis is too good that they can't step away.
When it came to me that she did not like nobody I dated, not even her
Well, that's
father.
pretty much.
Nobody.
Is she the oldest?
She is.
Yep, that's that. I'm the
it be
oldest
like
child. I can't be
that.
the oldest
Tim,
child.
Tim, what's the statistics that you was talking about, baby?
I was saying statistically, studies have shown that a lot of women will choose their men over their children. And
I've seen
sadly,
it.
the reason why is because it seems like we're living in a day and age where people are more attracted to dysfunction and toxicity, so they go towards that. So there has to be some form of issue with the mom or the parent that is choosing this unhealthy love over her own child.
Yeah. Well, that's
Agree.
why I said,
Agree. Because a lot of
how can he
people feel
effectively be loving you if he
Because
can't
then
lead
not
with the
only not
relationship
only
with the daughter?
but not
That come
only is it
easy. Mm-hmm.
dysfunctional, but with you choosing that man, you're telling your daughter that it's okay to date
It's
somebody
okay.
toxic.
Yeah.
agreed,
No.
agreed. Because
And
I've seen
that
it time
part,
and time
as
again
me
where a
being
lot
the
of people
Yeah.
oldest
feel like
child,
if you're not being abusive to me, then you don't love me. So with that
Yeah.
being said, I love y'all, so I'm not gonna be abusive to y'all.
please don't ever.
And
Because I
again,
tell
I just
people
want to
like this: if you're gonna be the type of person that you're gonna try and choose your man over me, I will put hands and feet on him. I will smile in my mugshot. Play
agree.
with me.
But I want to thank you guys again for definitely coming out and hanging out with me and Nima on the
Yes.
Quad Angle podcast. We have had a beautiful, beautiful moment. You are welcome to come back anytime you
Yes.
choose
We
to
definitely
hang
Yes.
gotta
out
have
Come
with
you guys
us.
back.
back.
We have had a great time. Again, you guys
Hey,
like, follow, and please comment below because we want to
Yes.
hear from you.
Comment,
We are
y'all.
here
Comment.
for
Comment.
you and because
Yes.
of you.
yes.
Love
Yes.
y'all. Y'all have a good
Love
evening.
y'all.
Mwah.